Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello to our viewers across the world and also to our listeners on our podcast audio platforms. We are super thrilled to have you here at USA Global TV and Radio. We truly are a global community with people from all generations watching from various places across the world. We couldn't be more honored to have you with us today. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and I am the host of today's show, which is the Mallorca Connection, starring Mr. Roland Friedl. And Roland has been with me since the beginning. We were rapping with Dr. Jacalyn. He's done hundreds and hundreds of episodes. I can't even keep them straight. And he's been a dear mentor to me as well as we've grown this business and we've grown this platform. Roland is an author, and he's going to be talking to us about his journey to become an author. It's something that he talked about for a long time, and I'm glad that he went forward with it. He's also an entrepreneur. He's an entrepreneur. He's a coach. He's an advocate for men and men's wellness. And he also is a Juice Plus distributor. And he's someone who has built his life on doing things his way. There is no box. And he does not live a wired lifestyle. He lives a wireless lifestyle. Let's welcome Mr. Roland Friedl to his show, The Mallorca Connection. Hello, hello.
Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Hello to our audience. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're joining us. Hello. Great to be back. Thank you.
Great to have you back. And for people who didn't know that we had a show right before this, it's Your Healthy Lifestyle. A lot of good content there. Please go over to our YouTube channels and go ahead and follow, subscribe, download, click, share, comment, all of the above. So Roland, today we're going to be talking about your journey as an author, which includes your story. So when is it that you thought, first off, of becoming an author, and when did you actually become one?
Okay. So when I first thought of becoming an author, I was in school. I was, 15, 16 years old, something like that. I want to become an author. At the time I was writing, to be honest, but I was writing song text. I was playing in a band, so I was writing song text, a lot of song text, but never a book. But I was always my dream writing a book, and I brought our, a magazine in school. We printed a school magazine and stuff like that. I was writing there, but never was writing a book. But it was always my dream. I was always reading a lot because my childhood was not so nicely, I would say, like this. So I was always escaping in books, reading books, and I love to read books, different books. So I was all about me, and then you go to university, and then you start a career, you start a family, and like in many other topics, you forget about your dream. Because you're hustling and in this treadmill, and then a few years ago it started again coming in my mind. I want to write something, so I was writing a little bit. I was not happy about this, to be honest, and I thought I had this mindset, this belief system: I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. This limiting belief systems. But it changed, and it changed. But I started actually. I'm now 60, so 40 something years ago.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to expand from that. Okay. So it's been a long time. I know when I first interviewed you for Adversity to Awesome, that was 3 years ago or so, and we talked about it then. And I think once you start getting the words on paper, whatever your technique is, whether it's voice to text and translation services or good old pen and paper, you sort of get the writing bug. It just seems to come naturally. I know for me, I think it's my 17th book, and I've got 2 more coming out this year. So, but what I want to ask you about, because I think this is important also, I'm not writing to submit for awards. Like for this television platform, yes, I'm very much interested in getting awards, and also for my work as a coach and teaching people about listening skills, yes. But writing books, I'm not personally applying for awards, and that isn't something that's driving, but it drives a lot of people. What is your motivation? Is it to get rich? Is it to get awards? Is it to get credibility? You already have, but what is the main motivation?
Okay. My main motivation is in writing books is inspire other people and make an impact in their lives, inspiring people to in different areas, like in men's health, in men's stuff, inspire people and encourage them to take the next step, because so many people want to change something. So many people feel, especially nowadays, they want to do something differently. So I want to inspire people. That's what I want to do. And that's my main goal, of course. And of course, I want to become a professional writer and author and transform my getting a little bit away from my corporate coaching consulting in more in writing and more in coaching private people. So that's my goal. Of course, I want to make money with that, yeah, but it's not the driver. The driver is I have a lot of stuff in my head, and I want to get rid of it, to be honest. I want to get rid of the stuff in my head and bring it to paper and encourage other people and inspire other people. That's the main motivation. And if it's working as a business, fine. If not, I will still continue to find something else to make my living. But yeah, that's the goal. Inspiring people, motivating people, encouraging people. And when a lot of people read my books and recommend my books, I can make money out of it. Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not?
That's right. If the money comes along with it, that's a good thing, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the best thing that can happen is that you do something that you really love, yeah, from the bottom of your heart. And then you make money with that, but money should never be the goal, no matter what you're doing. Because when you're chasing money, running money is energy, and the more you chase, the more you push the energy away. So it's more about getting the money into you. But I want to mention something and to honor you, Dr. Jacalyn, because as I said, it was a long journey for me, and it really took me a long time to really settle down, to sit down, not settle down, to sit down. I don't know if we're gonna settle down one day. To sit down and write a book. And I remember you asked me in the beginning with USA Global TV at the moment. Was no radio, it was Global TV at the moment. That you're writing a book from adversity to excellence, and if I can yeah, you interviewed me, and then I guess it was another tattoo book, as far as I remember. So I said, oh my gosh, yeah, that's a cool idea. And then you introduced me to Red. Was a very nice colleague who runs an amazing show here on the USA Global TV and Radio, and he encouraged me also, and he said, Roland, because I said, I would love to write a book, but I'm not. I believe I'm not good enough. And he said, Roland, you're good. You're a good talker. You're a good speaker. Why don't you speak, or you on a recording system? Just record your speak and let your thoughts flow. So that was my beginning. So I started recording, and after a while, I used some tools to transcript it, and then I transcripted it, and had to correct it a little bit because of my accent and stuff like that. And then my sentence, because it was just coming out of my from my heart, through my throat and through my mouth, and some stuff from my brain. And I found out that recording for me is in the beginning a good tool, because it's coming from my heart. It's not from my brain, from my head. Because when I'm writing, I'm thinking too much. Is it correct now? Is the grammar correct? Is the spelling correct? Stuff like that. So I'm too much in my head. So for me, it was a good process. And I'm very thankful, first of all, to you, Dr. Jacalyn, to encourage me in writing books. And secondly, to Red, to encourage me how to start. And so what I do at the moment is I do mostly writing and also do recording. I use both techniques. But I have to say that I wrote a book 2 years ago. After our conversation, I already wrote a book, and I finished this 2 years ago. Actually, it's in English, a business book. Well, actually, I wrote it in English and parallel in German. It's an English book, but I did never publish it. I don't know why. I guess I was too shy, and still my limited belief system. Maybe nobody's interested, and when you don't publish, you have still this dream about becoming an author. But when you publish it, then it's they buy it or they don't buy it. They love it or they don't love it. It's black or white. So I always refuse to publish it. But then I come out last year in March. I came out with this book that I'm publishing right now with a publishing company. And I had a lot of fun in writing this book. And with other persons together invited to share their stories. I will go a little bit deeper later. And so this is going to be published in a publish house. It's coming out. And so I said, okay, that's working. That's fine. So it gave me a lot of self-confidence because I hired a book agent. And for those who really want to write a book, I can highly recommend hire a book agent, a really good one who supports you. And he said, yeah, he's going to talk to 10 different publishing houses. And the incredible thing is, I was writing an expose, and he made it more professional, the expose. And he sent it to me, and I said, yeah, I sent it to publishing houses. I have a call, and I get 40 minutes or 45 minutes later, I got a mail in my inbox. And I said, I never saw this in the career, but the first publishing house said, yes, we publish it. And this was, wow. It was an amazing. So this really boosted my self-esteem to becoming an author and a writer. So I will write more books. I have more books in common. I also have a person who contacted me, a very famous person in Germany who contacted me, who want to co-write a follow-up book from this book that's coming out right now. And finally, I guess I will also publish this English business book and maybe in German too. So, yeah. It's going. It's
fantastic. It's a lot of activity. So, Roland, my books are all self-published through my publishing company, but through Amazon. So you're working with a publisher who's not going to be publishing through Amazon only. Can you share, to your knowledge, what is the difference between working with someone like what you're doing and working myself with a book coach through Amazon?
Well, actually, in the beginning, when I started writing this book, when I started last year, I had a two-line strategy: self-publishing and publishing house. And one of the two different strategies. When you find a publishing house, it's to be honest, it's difficult. And I was lucky. I would say I was lucky. I had the right topic because I said, well, the topic is amazing, and the owner of the publishing house has also thought one. So when we talk about the book later, so the topic was exactly for him too. And I said, it's a huge market there. There's nothing on the market, so it was the right topic and the right timing. Going in a publish house. So with the advantage of a publish house is that they do. Well, actually, I hired my book agent is also a lecturer, so he did the lecturing, most of it. But the fine lecturing, the tuning is done by the publishing house. The printing, we bring it out in a hardcover, not in a paperback. We bring it in a hardcover, so really a value book in a hardcover. Everything's done by the publishing house, and the publishing house I'm working with has a huge distribution network, so that my book will not only be. They also bring it on Amazon, clear. But it will be in every bookstore in the German-speaking countries, meaning in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. So I can go to a broader audience. Of course, I will also promote it through my channels, but the promotion is done through the publishing house, of course, and their channels and their access to media and stuff like that. I will be also, the book is shown also on book fairs and stuff like that. So that's the advantage. I have no costs at all. But on the other hand, the earning is very small because you asked me in the beginning, is it about making money or what are you doing it, reputation? As I said before, is for me, it's inspiring people, and meaning I want as much people as possible reading this book and get inspired and say, okay, I'm not the only one who's suffering from a non-present debt in different levels. So, and the chance is that more people are getting this book is when you're in every bookstore. So. That's my goal for that. But the commission is very low. The commission is very, very low that you're earning. But to be honest, as I said, that's not my driver. I mean, if you sell 10, 15, 50,000 or 100,000 books, I will make some money. But it's really low. But as I said, again, for me, it's just I want to inspire as many people as possible so I can reach much more people and with less efforts, meaning I don't have to do all the advertising and all the promo, because, I think it's more work than writing the book. So that's a publishing house. When you go self-publishing for Amazon or whatever platform, you need a little bit money. It's also not expensive. What I was finding out, you have a higher margin. For example, a very good friend of mine, she's publishing books. She's also a very good coach and speaker. And she does 50 speaks a year, so 50 times, and always in front of minimum 400 people. So she's speaking in front of 20,000 people every year. And she says she does self-publishing because she sells a hell of books during her speeches, and she has a much, much higher, 20 times higher commission than I get for my book. So, but that's their approach. But I don't want to go this way. So, self-publishing means you do it yourself, you promote yourself, you do the advertising, but your margin is much higher. Publishing house, it's more professional. You're in every bookstore, but the margin is very, very slow. But that's okay for me. I hope this is helpful.
Yes, definitely helpful. Thank you. And I love what you just shared about your friend who's presenting, because you can make some really good money being a keynote speaker and having a book. To me, and I think it was Red who mentioned to me that he had a client, because he's a book coach, he had a client who he worked with to create a small book. In other words, instead of 6x9 or 7x10, it was smaller than that. And that book was really 50 pages or something. And that is the person's business card. So it's basically, here's my information, and it's all right there in the book. And I know with me, for my books, especially, I just happen to have one here, but this one, Mastering the Power of Elevated Listening, I give these out when I'm teaching my courses, setting boundaries and asking permission, because I'm getting paid. And I feel like even though I'm not covering the cost of the books per se, I'm leaving people with something really tangible and asking if they'll write a review, which typically doesn't happen. Because on Amazon, I know they have a lot of rules you have to follow. And if you got the book for free, I don't know if you can leave a review or not. But anyway, what I'm finding is more and more people are getting helped because I'm handing out the book and I'm signing it and I'm making that personal connection. So I'm not getting rich from books, but I'm doing it my way and the way that feels best for me. And it sounds like you're doing the same.
Absolutely. And to be honest, for me, also the book is a chance that more people know about my work as a coach. Yeah. And of course, it's also a marketing tool for myself, for sure.
Sure.
Yeah. And I guess, sorry, that's the book. I'm still arguing a little bit with the publishing house because they don't like the cover. I said, no, but all my friends said the cover is cool because I did it myself. I designed the cover by myself. So hopefully we go with this cover, and it's going to be in hardcover. And yeah. Well, and actually, when you publish through a publishing house, you also get, I guess, 20 books I get for free or something like that. And afterwards, I get a 40 or 50% discount. So I can also order them cheaper, the book, and resell it if I want. But as I said, that's not my goal. My goal is absolutely inspire as many people as possible. It's a little bit of ego too. You go in a bookstore and hey, there's my book there. It's also helpful for your self-esteem. No doubt on that. I'm honest on that. It's also cool. And yeah, but there are different ways. So actually the English book I will bring out, as I said, this business book, I will do self-publishing on Amazon. I want to try this too. Yeah, I want to try this too. And then we see when we go with the English version of this German daddy book. It is said for our English-speaking listeners, Papa, wo bist du? It means, Daddy, where are you? Stories about non-present dads, fathers. It's a book. Actually, at the moment we have over 300 pages, so actually we have to minimize a little bit to 250. I was writing a lot, and in the book I was writing a lot of general context about our society where we're living in and why so many people are suffering from not having a dad. I'm sharing my own story, and more friends came to me, men and women from, I'm not quite sure what the actual point is, but I think it's 24 23 or 24 different men and women from 7 different countries or 8 different countries, friends of mine who know me, came to me and said, that's an amazing story. They also had no dad. They're suffering from that. So I guess 23 or 24 people also shared their story because there are different aspects of non-present dads. And yeah, it's a cool book. And as I said, it's going to be, it's all about inspiring people. And I think that every kid deserves to have a dad. And my dad passed away. There's nothing to change anymore. But it's not also about people like in our age who never had a dad, or not an emotionally available dad, or like my dad who was not interested in me and my brother. He was a very ego-driven guy. But anyway, but it's also for people who are right now raising kids and getting information about how important it is that kids have both a dad and a mom, because at the moment we have so many single moms, and I know that many men are suffering because their ex-wives or ex-girlfriends don't allow them to see their kids frequently, and kids are suffering. And so I want to open also the hearts of these ladies, and that their kids have more access to their biological dads and like that, because it's so important. So it's a huge topic, and and it's also a taboo. I call it a taboo. People don't talk about it in our society. It's a taboo. And as I said, I was always suffering from my own story. My dad was never interested in me and my brother. And the other thing is, I don't know if I mentioned it, but during my coaching with a lot of GMs, managers, or CEOs of top companies, it always comes to the topic why they're so successful, why they're so working so tough. Is always they're looking for acknowledgement and being seen and regarded. By their father. And so it's men and women who are really suffering from that, and it has an impact on their lives, on their job. It has an impact on their relationships. It has an impact on their own parenting when they have kids and stuff like that, on their mental health. And yeah, that's why I wrote this book, together with other people. I'm very happy about it, and I'm so happy that the publishing house said, yeah, cool topic. We published it immediately because there's a cool book. But what I didn't know is books are published, and it's interesting because my ex-wife, she was we have been together. We've been in the fashion industry, many boutiques, and the fashion industry, you get the new clothes delivered in spring and in autumn. And the same is with books. I didn't know that the publishing house releasing books in March and October. So the book will be launched and released in October, and then it's in every bookstore in the German-speaking countries. That's the story.
That's incredible. And I really appreciate your transparency about the fact that you're not going to be getting paid a lot, but what you are getting is a lot of service and a lot of exposure, which can really help as a coach, as you know. I mean, I think, just in my experience, it really says something when you have a published book that has content in it that can really help people, and you're there in front of them working to help them. And they're like, oh my gosh, you actually wrote you wrote a book and it's published and you've helped people and people are sharing their stories. I think it says a lot.
Absolutely. In May, I'm going to be one of the top speakers of the largest men's online congress, which is going on for 11 or 12 days. And I can talk about this. I'm speaking on different events. So yeah, I'm going to mention it. Actually, the Austrian TV, actually Austria is a small country, but it has one TV station, but with different channels, but one. And they also want to do a whole story, not broadcasting all day, but producing and interviewing and filming a whole day with myself and 3 other people who shared their story but are from Austria. So they want to bring up this topic. So media is very interested in that, and I guess it will be cool stuff. I don't know. I don't know why. I know the figures, how many books are sold. Actually, I don't know if was it 2023 or 24. There was only less than 10 books that sold more than 1 million copies, and there was less than 500 books that sold more than 100,000 copies. So it's difficult because thousands of books are published every year. Thousands and thousands books are published, but I don't know. I have a figure in my head between 50,000 and 100,000 books that I'm going to sell on that, because the topic is huge and I get a huge of response on that from different people. So yeah, let's see.
All right, I love it. So, Roland, I want to ask you this question because I think it's important. People like to consume information in different ways. So, your book is a hardcover. I haven't done any hardcovers yet, but what I'm thinking of not doing in the future are ebooks. So, I typically do an ebook and I do a paperback, and I'm finding people I forget what it's called on Amazon, but you can be part of this Kindle thing where you can download ebooks for free. So you never see any revenue really from that. But there's also audiobooks. And I know many people have asked me, do I have any books on audio, which I do. I don't know if you know this or not, but now, at least I'm going to say a few months ago, I don't know about now, but a few months ago, Amazon was offering a service to turn your book into an audiobook for free. And you can actually pick the voice, a British voice, American voice, male, female. So my books are now available in audio. But my point and question to you is, you're doing hardback now, then you're going to do self-publishing on Amazon. Are you thinking of doing all of the different formats with an ebook, a paperback, an audiobook, and a hardcover?
Yeah, with this book and this publishing house, we do a hardcover because they only sell hardcover books. They don't do any paperbacks. They only do hardcovers, so very high quality. They only sell high quality books. Actually, it's a small publishing house. It's a private one. It's privately owned. So I talk directly to the owner, what is really cool. So I'm not talking to an employee or somebody. So I talk directly to the owner. And this publishing house is small, however, has a very good reputation and has a huge distribution channel. So they're distributing in combination with other publishing houses, so in Austria and Germany and so on and so on. So that's a perfect combination. So we do it in a hardcover. That's one thing. I guess it will also come as an ebook, and I want to do an Audible because I know that most men. Actually, what I found out, and also the publishing house confirmed it, that most people buying books are mostly female or mostly women. Yeah, men buy less books than women or read less books than women, but men love to listen to books when they drive their cars or in the subway or whatever. So I want to do an Audible with this book, of course. Yes, that's a plan for me. Not a paperback, but an Audible and maybe an ebook. Yeah, that's the plan. And what I really love with this publishing house, you can do interact. I don't know, I hope I translated it correctly in English. Interactive books, meaning you can combine a printed book with new media. That's cool. So that's pretty cool.
That's really cool. So you are going to do an ebook.
Sorry?
You are going to do an ebook.
I think so. But a publishing house is doing the pricing, so it's not up to me. And I guess that when a publishing house is doing an ebook, it's not much cheaper than a printed version. Not really.
Okay.
Really.
So can you share with
Sorry?
I was going to say, can you share with our viewers and our listeners, what are some of the challenges that you faced during this process? And were there any where you just thought, you know what, I'm going to give up? I know the answer is no on that, but.
Well, the challenge was, to be honest, I started this book idea with a guy who is also in the men's work, and I asked him, hey, I have this idea, you want to do it together? Because we did an interview. Actually, we did on my YouTube channel, on my German YouTube channel, we did a conversation about fatherwound, when you're suffering from a non-present dad. And I said, I have an idea for a book. You want to join me? And he said, yes. But he said, yeah, but I have here's some I don't know, ADHD or something, he cannot focus and stuff like that. It's difficult. So I said, yeah, no problem. So we started, and after 6 months, he didn't bring his text, his own story, and I was getting more and more impatient. And then I was pissed off because, to be honest, I found the book agent in the publishing house. I organized media stuff. I was writing all the text. I find all the people who are sharing the story. So, for me, it's difficult to kick somebody else. So, and one day I called him and said, I'm so sorry. I do it by myself. I'm not doing it with you anymore. It's not working. And I was really scared about calling him. And the interesting thing is, it was a very short conversation, 4 minutes. And then we didn't hear about 2-3 weeks. And then I called him again. I said, okay, how about yourself? You want to be in the book with your story? And the interesting thing is, we're still very good friends. And I found out, because I felt uncomfortable with him, and he felt uncomfortable because he felt under pressure to deliver. And he's so happy that he is in the book, that he can promote in the book, but he's not a co-author because it was too much pressure for him. So this was a challenge for me. I started with a co-author. This was one thing, because I have a, when I work, I focus, and I'm very impatient with people who are not delivering on time or delivering at all. This was one thing. I never was thinking about giving up. I just was, no, I never was thinking about it. For me, it was just too slow. And I found out, okay, writing a book is easy for me, but then finding a publishing house, well, at this time I had really luck, or I just had the right topic. There was no other challenge. No, not really. No. The only challenge was, the men and women who said, yeah, they want to share the story, is that they deliver within the deadline. This was the only challenge.
Yeah.
But as I said, I was lucky that I had less than half of the book, and there was already a publishing house offering me a contract. So, and then you're more motivated, of course. Yeah.
Of course. A question I wanted to ask, since you do have a collaboration or a number of people sharing their stories, how about the formatting of each person's story? So, like, I'll give you an example. In the new book I have coming out, and you're going to be included in it, I've asked people for their bios, their contact details, but I actually didn't think of having a standard format for everyone: name, title, country. So I'm going to have to go through and do all that myself. And if I thought about it in advance, I could have said, this is the format. Did you have a format for the people you were interviewing? And if so, what was it?
Yeah, first of all, I didn't interview. Well, I just when they wrote the text by themselves, so I didn't interview them, and I wrote it, so they wrote it by themselves. And I sent them out an email about my expectations. Okay, what it should contain, what it should not contain. I saw them that they are not have any rights on the book, so they're not a co-author, something like that. And then I said, okay, you can publish with your name or not. So we came across with most of the writers, and we came across with the publishing house, with my book agent. We only, with the story, we only published their first name, not their family name, their first name, their age, more or less, and maybe the country, but not the whole name, not at all, because some stories are really deep, and maybe some dads who are still alive may be pissed off, something like that, or some other family members. So we don't want to get sued. So we only bring their first name and maybe the age. And yeah, that's all.
Yeah, that's a great point. Thank you for sharing that, because I think in general, authors have to get permission to use people's names. And I think that's why many times, even on TV shows, they'll say the names have been changed to protect the innocent. And you'll see that in books also, a disclaimer, disclosure. So I know, because you were in my other book, I had to get permission from people. So if you are having stories that are included and there's some disparaging comments about people, you really can't identify who the person is, I think, without getting their permission. So it's good that you're doing it that way.
Yeah. And as I said, I didn't interview them and write down the story for them. No, they wrote the story. They sent it to me by email, and they gave me the permission to publish it. That's a huge advantage from a juridical point of view. So they wrote it and they sent it to me.
Good.
And they also gave me the permission that the lecturer who is lecturing the text can change it a little bit, maybe shorten it or change a little bit when the grammar is not correct or the spelling. So I have to have the permission of that. Yeah. That's important.
Good. Yeah, that's very important. So you have a number of 50,000 to 100,000 books that you plan on selling, which is amazing. And the book is currently in German. You're going to write it in English as well. What's next for you on your writing journey? Because I spoke to you backstage, and you kind of have the writing bug now. So where do you plan on going? And will you end up being at some point a full-time author? We have a number of people on this platform, their entire work life is writing.
Yeah, my book agent, when we met the first time, he interviewed me about my background. I said, hey, Roland, you have to write down your own story. I said, who the heck is interested in my life? No, you have to write your story. You have an amazing life, stuff like that. So with this Daddy book, it really was... it was a game changer for me, and I said, okay, I want to become an author and write more. I have a lot of books in my head I want to write down. The next project is, and this book, when everything is done and is ready and done to the publishing house, and the publish in October, they have nothing to do with it anymore in the beginning, except some promo work and some interviews for newspapers and magazines and TV stations, stuff like that. I will, so we have a lot of media work to do. But besides that, I want to self-publishing this English business book. That's the next step. And the interesting thing is, I was not sure about, as I said in the beginning, I had two strategies: finding a publishing house and do self-publishing. So for the self-publishing, I started up a crowdfunding on a Swiss crowdfunding platform. Actually, didn't work out. There was not enough money. But it was, for me, if you have to self-publish it professionally, I do some crowdfunding. But the interesting thing is with crowdfunding is a lot of people came to me and said an amazing story. They want to share their story too, because I was sharing the crowdfunding on different platforms, on different events, stuff like that. And then a guy joined me, a famous medical doctor from Germany. And he's also speaker on men's congress and stuff like that. And I said, wow, it's amazing what you're doing. He wants to become my co-author. And I said, I'm sorry, the book is almost finished. We have 300 pages. We have shortened it. But because he said he also has a daddy issue, I said, hey, you're more than welcome to share your story, and maybe you can write a short article, a professional article from your point of view. And he did it. He delivered. And we're going to meet actually this Friday in Düsseldorf. That's why I'm heading north after Belgium. And we're going to meet for 3 hours, and we write a follow-up book from this book that is coming in October. And we go more deeply, because he does a lot of studies and research about the impact on your mental and physical health when you have a daddy issue as a woman or as a man, doesn't matter. So we bring a follow-up book and go more deeper, what the impact is if your dad is not present, because there's also nothing on the market. That's a project I'm doing. My girlfriend, whatever you call it, she has been writing a book for children, and I introduced her. We already had a video conference with my publishing house, and I gave her some hints. We want to do an interactive book. I can explain it later if you're interested. It's really cool technology, being more interactive. So combining a written book with some other stuff. I'm writing more books, and to be honest, in October, before I left to Sicily, I was writing in one day. I'm not quite sure, 5 hours, 6 hours, like that. I was writing 60,000 words, a book on a topic only with artificial intelligence. I tried it. I tried it out. 6 hours, I had a full book. And then I started reading the first 2 chapters and, oh my gosh, who is reading a shit like this? So I would never write a book with artificial intelligence, to be honest. It helps me to do some research. It helps me to structure the book, but I will write it in my own words. That's one of my learnings. And as I said, I will write a book of my wireless life rocks, my lifestyle, to encourage people to live more free, independent lifestyle. I want to encourage them to do this. There's a book in work. There's a book in work about a seminar, a workshop I'm doing in June. It's called, and we did a TV show together, Miki and myself, in German. So we write a book about this. And with another friend, we do a online video course, the first one in English, in German and English. There's nothing on the market. And there will also come a book. So there will more books come. And as I mentioned, we do it interactive. This is my website. Did you ever hear about an interactive book, Jacalyn? I don't hear you. You're muted.
Yes, I have heard of it, and I'd like to learn more. It sounds very interesting, especially for children to keep their attention.
Yeah, it's cool because this publishing house I'm working right now, they have an app. I have on my phone. They have an app, and then you can upload audio files, video files, whatever you want. And on different pages of the book, there's a sign, and people can go there with the app and scan it. And then besides reading the content you're sharing, you can bring a personal message, voice speaking, or you bring up a video or a different video, whatever. So you can be more interactive. You can combine old media, printed book and new media. That's really cool, especially for kids. But also for example, when you bring up a yoga book, for example, you can upload the posture, the video, so people can read it, can see pictures, but you can also upload a video sequence where you share the posture, or you get in the posture and what you can do correctly and incorrectly. You can upload, I don't know, music, mantra music or whatever. So there's a hell of stuff going on, and that's why I'm very happy to work with this publishing house, because they're also offering this tool for their clients and also for their authors to bring interactive books. Yeah, that's very exciting times are coming.
I love that. I would love if you introduced me to your publisher. I'd like to have my couple of my books in German. That would be cool.
Yeah, we can
Yeah, fantastic.
Let's do it.
All right, we've got another show coming up. So we've got your website up. Tell our audience what the services are that you offer here and who you can help, please.
Yes. Actually, this is my so-called main website. Actually, my agency years ago said you need a main website because you're working and you're engaged in so different fields. So my main website is my name, rolandfriedl.com. This is my so-called main website. It's available in English and in German. You get a little bit insight about myself, about my vision and my offer. So I have a huge experience in different fields. I love what I'm just doing. I love what I'm doing. And from this website, you can come directly. There's some of my clients also here. So I do a lot of, or did, to be honest, a lot of training and coaching for huge companies worldwide. And then you can click on SBS. SBS is Partner Performances. This is my business website for business, for companies who need my expertise in coaching, consulting, training, facilitating. I just came back in March from Portugal. I was facilitating for Diebold Nixdorf, a huge American technology company. You have to self-checkout, cashier, stuff like that. So this is SBS, where I do I work with international companies as a trainer, as a coach, as a consultant. Then in the middle, you have WLR, Wireless Life Rocks. That's where I do one-to-one coachings online with people who want to sometimes the same crazy lifestyle like myself, just living a free, independent lifestyle, maybe transform their business or their job into a remote business and do more traveling and do it remotely, stuff like that. That's Wireless Life Rocks. And then S for M, Sparing for Man, this is a men's website where I do men's work. Yeah, that's more or less. Besides that, I do a lot of stuff in here in USA Global Domain Radio, I guess 300 shows or something like that the last 3 years, since the beginning. I have my own German-speaking YouTube channel. I'm writing books at the moment. I am a speaker on online congresses, stuff like that. So a lot of stuff is going on. And you're more than welcome to contact me and share your stuff. And maybe we find a work to work together, part of the path. You're more than welcome. Just contact me. Best way is by email, office@rolandfriedl.com. And then let's get in contact. You can talk to me in German, in English, or in Spanish. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Roland. It's been an absolute pleasure. Congratulations again on this incredible achievement and on such an important topic that's in alignment with everything that you do. So I wish you millions of book sales and lots of public speaking events and a ton of new clients as a result of this incredible project. So we'll look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Dr. Jacalyn. And thanks really a lot that you really established this platform and give us all these different co-hosts and hosts on this amazing platform the opportunity to share our wisdom and knowledge and experience with many other people. Thanks a lot for what you're doing. And yeah, I'm looking forward to be back. I don't know, next week or in 2 weeks, whenever we do the next show. Thanks a lot. All the best. Stay healthy. Thanks to audience. And for audience, please never forget, sign up if you didn't so. Subscribe, share, comment, like, and then we make this world a better place. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye, Roland.
Bye.
Everyone, thank you so much for all of your subscribers, follows, your comments. It all means a great deal, not just to me, but to our team. We have a huge global team of people, TV show hosts, obviously our producers, our social media team, our marketing team, our search engine optimization team, and our sponsors, our publicists, and of course, our guests and our loyal fans. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for our next show, which is coming up. And that show is Talking Heads with Dr. Madeline Chan. We'll see you back here in just a few moments. Bye.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.